Hi, my name's Phil Winder, and this is a quick demonstration video about some work we've been doing on some charms, some operators for Canonical's charms. We've been tasked with working on the Spark operator, so we've developed a very quick POC to demonstrate the use of Spark via a charm. I'm going to take you through what we've done and give you a quick demo. First off, I'm just going to go through the demo because it might take a couple of minutes to run up. I've already created a micro KS cluster on my machine, and I've already built the charm, added the Spark model, and deployed the Spark operator charm. So if I just go to my terminal, you'll see that we have the controller for Juju running. We have a Spark model, and we have the Spark operator in here. So we've got the controller here. This is the actual operator, the charm operator, and finally we have the Spark operator pod running in that pod there. So now if I was to do a kubectl apply with an example Spark job. This might take a second because I'm recording at the same time. Whilst that is running, I'm going to go back to the browser and just explain a little bit more what's going on. So we decided to install the Spark operator from Google, and the reason for that was that we didn't have much time. So we wanted to make sure we could get something working, and the easiest way to do that was to install the current Spark operator, which is quite robust and stable already. It's a single pod, it's a standard Kubernetes operator, and it controls the life cycle of Spark jobs via a couple of CRDs. The main CRD is something called a Spark application, and basically you submit that to the Kubernetes cluster, and the Spark operator, which is this blue box here, then reads that Spark application and spins up new pods to actually execute the Spark jobs. Okay, so what we're doing is we're basically encapsulating this Spark operator pod inside a charm. Oh dear. Right, so this is just a slight issue with the lack of resources on my machine. So I'm going to continue just going through what we've done, and then I'm going to come back and show you that running without the recording of the video. So we followed the basic template to generate a single pod charm, and then sort of built off that. We've got, I mean, this is a fairly standard charm, I would suspect. There's nothing hugely interesting. We do have CRDs that we need to install, so we have some CRDs that we're reading from some templates there. We're also reading in some RBAC configuration that's required, and we're setting the RBAC here. So this is one thing that we didn't quite get to finish. So the Spark operator itself needs a set of RBAC to be able to do its job. I'd prefer it if it wasn't global at this point in time. I'd rather that it was namespace scoped and it just installed for specific namespaces, or at least was configurable. So that would be something that we could do. Something that we struggled with though is that the Spark operator requires a second service account, and that's for the actual Spark jobs themselves. Now, we could ask the user to add a service account and a role for every Spark application that they create, but it is fairly common to allow the Spark. It's fairly common to have a single service account for all your Spark applications. So the Spark operator Helm chart does allow you to install this, but we couldn't figure out how to add a second service account here, so that's something we would have to research. This is just standard container definition stuff, and all of the settings are being pulled from the configuration. The arguments are being built. I'll show you that in a second. Yeah, this is all controlled by a config file, by the way, a YAML file, which we're passing at the top somewhere. And then we have a couple of, so that's where the CRDs are actually written. Then we're setting the security context that's defined in the configuration. We'll have to enable the metrics, because we found that if this wasn't enabled, then the liveness probe didn't work properly. I think that's a function. I think that's something to do with the Spark operator itself, not the charm. But still, that was a bit of faff to get working. And we didn't quite get to enable the webhooks. So there's this feature in the Spark operator where you can enable a mutating webhook to set special things on the Spark application request. We didn't quite get that working because it required some secret certificates and stuff, and yeah, that just took a bit longer. So that actually doesn't work at the moment. This is all the arguments. Lots of arguments, all, you know, quite complex because we're pulling it all out of the config again. Probably need a better way of doing this, to be honest. It's quite easy to make a mistake in here with all this string concatenation. Oh yeah, here, this is what I meant, sorry, where we had to enable the metrics in the Spark container itself. And I think that's probably about it, really. The rest of it is all pretty standard. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to go back and check to see if that's working yet. Ah, it is working, fantastic. Ah, but but it doesn't look like the job was actually created. So I'm just going to stop the video for a second and then come back when it's created. Hi, I'm back again. So the issue was that I just applied the Spark application YAML to the wrong namespace, so that wasn't a particular problem. I'm just going to show you it a little bit now. So this is just copied from the Spark operator repo. It's defining a Spark application, and this is just a very simple sort of hello world example, just to make sure that your Spark cluster's running as it should be. And we can see that when I submitted that to the right namespace, then we've got this new Spark application running, and here's the driver, and here's the actual executor executing the job. So let's see if we can see anything in there actually. Yeah, okay, it's going to struggle a bit again. All right, let's not stress it too much. Oh, there we go. So you can see the actual Spark code running inside that container there. Yeah, so I think, so yeah, so let me try and summarize what we've done. So this is now working reasonably well. You know, it's a bit hacked together. We could do with refining it and cleaning it up and adding tests and making it more useful for real users of Spark. I know that the Spark operator is used quite a lot, so there is a community there that might be interested in it. I think that there is some level of impedance mismatch though between, you know, the Spark, the operator for the charm and the normal Kubernetes operator. You know, it's a very similar sort of paradigm. They're both trying to do very similar things. So in the future, we may actually want to consider re-implementing the functionality of the current Spark operator inside the charm. So the charm itself is actually directly controlling the executors and the drivers, you know, the core Spark components, instead of the Spark operator itself. The downside of doing that, of course, is that you're duplicating a lot of work. The operator, the Spark operator, already does this. So, don't know, swings and roundabouts really. Yeah, but overall, it's been quite an interesting experience. We really like the ability to define dependencies and build dependency graphs of different applications. We haven't managed to show it off too much in this project, but it's quite a useful feature to have. All right, I think I'll leave it there. As I said, my name's been Phil Winder, and this has been for Winder Research. And if you're interested, you can just check out the website for more info. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye-bye.